Hey, it's MK and welcome to 31 Days of Cut Files 2023. This is the first cut file that I will be playing with today, and it is a stitched star from Virginia over on COAPA Cut Files. I'll have the link down below so you can check it out and see what it is. I'm also going to be playing with a few wood veneers from Some Assemblage Required, and the Patriotic Sprinkles is what the next set is called, and it comes with these cute little banners, a couple bursts of firecrackers, and then all those little bits of stars and stuff. I have a few cut apart cards from a Paper House paper pack that I don't remember the name of it, actually. I apologize, but I've got a few of those. I'm not sure if I'm going to use any of them. I have one photo of campfire firecracker that my husband was overcooking, and he just barely saw it and didn't realize that they were going to do that. Leftover wood grain from another layout. Again, another pieces and bits left over from my Americana collection, or category, I should say. This striped piece is from Close to My Heart. It's actually a little boy rocket ship type of layout. From Pink Paisley, I have this Sweet Freedom. Now, this actually came from a give-take table or it was either a give-take table or Janet had it in her collection and gifted it to me at a retreat. I cannot remember now. And then from the Paper House paper pack, I also have these gorgeous stars. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on my stitching. So what I did for this one is I decided to do the blanket stitch with red on the outside because I kept thinking red, white, and blue. So I wanted red on the outside. My cut file is already white, and then I will stitch again the blanket stitch with the blue on the inside. And I decided to share this with you guys, at least the first side of the star, because of all the trials and tribulations that it takes to get the string through. Now, it's awesome when Virginia makes these cut files because the holes are already there for you, and they're nice, big, giant holes. I had no problem getting my thread, getting my needle, any of that in and out of the holes. There wasn't any stress to my fingers trying to push needles, pull needles, any of that stuff. It was beautiful as far as that works. Now, when you are gauging how much thread you need for a file this size, I always go around one time, I measure my trim, my twine or my thread around one time, and then I quadruple it, which means I add 4 more of those lengths to it. So the string that I'm working with is rather long, really long, and it keeps tangling. And I wanted to share that with you guys because no matter what I did, it just kept tangling. And one of the things that I miss doing when it comes to sewing on fabric is I usually just go in and out, in and out, in and out, about 5 or 6 holes, and then pull my thread all the way through. And then it's a lot easier than pulling it through every single hole. But paper doesn't work that way. And then when I got to the corners, I wanted to share how I secured the corners because they weren't holding the way that I wanted them to. So I'm just going to add a small little dab of my favorite Nouveau Deluxe adhesive into the corner of that cut file, so that way it will keep my stitches in place. And I don't have to worry about it. And then I will just continue on around the whole star. And then on the inside, I did the exact same thing. You can see I still have a little bit of the sprinkles left over from the holes. Now what I'm going to do to make sure that all of the stitching, this is the back side of my cut file, I am going to take foam dots and just put them all the way around the star. So I will pop it up and have a dimensional star, but just because of the thread. And then I plan on putting the inner star back into the cut file. So that way I've got that 3D cool looking star effect. So now onto my wood veneer. I went and I colored in the open words with a coppery color metallic paint pen. Now I'm going through and filling in all of my stars with my white Thule Art paint pen. And then I'm going to fill in the word boom with a blue. And now I would give you the names and the numbers and all this. None of this stuff is sold individually. They are in the blue set, the red set, the black and white set. So you have to buy them as a set. But what's really cool is the set's only $22 on Amazon. If you look up Tooli Art, TOOLI-ART. If you look up Tooli Art, there are so many sets to choose from. Most common set is the overall set. I think it has brights and, what is it called? Primaries, thank you. Brights and primaries, a black and a white, and I think a couple neon colors. That's the one that is really good for beginners. And I have them all, you guys. I wanted every single color under the sun because I just love choices. And this one here gave me that not quite primary blue feel, right? I want to say a country feel, but it's not really a country feel. And I'm just coloring it in. And the reason why I left this in is because my old wood veneer was actually called MDF, which is a particle board, and it's a bunch of basically wood shavings glued together and sanded smooth and then given a finish. And so these paint pens worked beautifully on those because it did not get into the wood grain of the wood veneer and bleed. And so I just wanted to share, not that I mean, look at that. I colored out of the lines. I accidentally, marked a spot. It's messy coloring, you guys. It really is. But it's going in a scrapbook and nobody's going to notice it but me, to be honest. But one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys was that the score marks keep the bleeding contained. So I did the inside of the word boom, and because my machine scored around the word, I am able to not bleed into the background of this little wood veneer here. And same with the fireworks, because the fireworks were scored, they did not bleed into the rest of the blah, 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 the rest of the image. So I really do like all that. So, and I do plan on using both of those pieces. I'm super proud of myself because these actually were released in July and I'm using them this year, which is weird because I have a hard time doing that. Truth be told, when I create for my shop, I'm actually creating for this year's photos, which is 2023's photos. But I'm creating them right now, and I'm only in 2021's album. So I do have a hard time trying to create in the past because I'm creating, we just did that like right now. So I want to create an image for me to be able to scrapbook with. So yeah, I do have that sort of little, why I don't get to all of my images right away as soon as I release them type of deal. All right, so I took that wood grain. It's going to be a huge photo mat for my photos. And then, of course, I took a blue scrap and that flag cut apart. Forgive me for covering it up. But I just wanted the red and white stripes so that way I had the blue for the corner of the flag and then, of course, the red and white stripes down at the bottom to make it look like the whole flag was behind my photo. That was the gist that I was going for, not really covering up the American flag. Deciding where I want to place all of my elements, make sure that my star center gets put back in as well. I thought I was going to do this Life and Liberty, and then I thought, oh, nope, that's the wrong blue. Plus I have this one here that says Family, Friends, and Fireworks, which is perfect because we're at a church camp. Rafting trip. So we went rafting down the river in Idaho. And then camped out next to the Snake River Canyon in Idaho. It was super fun. We had no idea that they were going to throw fireworks. Like I said, my husband just looks up and realizes, oh my gosh, look at that. And so he snaps a photo real quick, even though he's kind of at the back of the camp where the food was. So he really didn't get to see the light show, but he did get to see it. And this light, run, boom, repeat reminds me of people doing their own fireworks. Like they sit there and they put it in the grass or put it on the cement or wherever they're lighting the fires and lighting it and then running away really quick, hoping for that boom. And then they go and do it several times. So I thought that this was absolutely perfect because I can picture the adults doing that for the kids. And then, of course, I just added a few more other stickers from that pink paisley sticker sheets, adding in a little bit of a pastel-y red rather than, it's more like a peach, but it actually matches the Close to My Heart stripes pretty well, because they're like a faded stripe or a distressed stripe of some sort. And then I decided to take all of my patriotic sprinkles and make a banner piece, because in that sticker sheet I found a ton of banners, like a bunch of them. And so I thought, oh, I could just build a cute little banner going on and then sprinkle the rest of the sprinkles all over the layout. I love the fact that the sprinkles match the Light Run Boom wood grain, because it's the same fireworks being used in both places. So it seems like the fireworks can now be spread throughout the entire layout. So I really, really liked how that turned out. My cut file is more like a really big background for my title for this one here, but because I gave it a dimension and then put the center back into it, now it's more like a foundation for my cut file. So I'm going to pop up, because of the fact that my cut file is on is stitched, it's a little bit dimensional. So I'm going to have to pop up my cluster, my photo cluster that I've put together on foam, so that way I can offset that dimension and make sure that everything gets put in its place. Just trying to figure out where my star needs to go. Don't want it to be too far away from the photo, because then it looks disjointed. But yes, I definitely wanted it to be a part of my main title, and then my other one is kind of like a subtitle, my other wood veneer. I almost debated not putting both wood veneers on, because they do seem to be competing titles, but I think that they go really, really well together, because you've got the Light Run Boom Repeat and then Family, Friends, and Fireworks. It just kind of seems like they don't compete, because they go together. They're not saying the same thing type of stuff. All right, last but not least that I'm going to do for my layout is add a few of these white sprinkles to help fill in the gaps of where I added the stars and the bursts and the banner and all that stuff. I think that it helped. And then because I used a copper in my wood grain for my lettering, I went ahead and I used this Bronze Baby from Shimmers, the new color splash, and splattered that around as well. So that brought in that bronze color or that copper color in 3 different colors, or 3 different areas. My apologies. And then, of course, it also helped that I had that rose gold coppery color in the sticker sheet too. So that also helped with the color scheme. And I just love how this layout turned out. I love how the stitching in my star turned out and the pattern that it works. I love stitching, you guys, and I don't do it as often because that just takes time, like sit down and do it type time. And I haven't been a sit down and do it type time person. But I'm excited to share with you guys all the other stitching techniques that I have for this week, because that is the name of the game. This month we are, the theme is called In Stitches. And all the cut files will be presented from COAPA Cut Files. The list of all the cut files are down below. You can go over to Virginia's website or Etsy shop. She has a website now. I'm so excited for her. You can go either to her website or to her Etsy shop to purchase these files individually from Virginia. If you guys want to play along with these particular cut files. The star was cut out at 5.5 inches, and I did actually do a little bit of altering, because when you shrink the cut file, you shrink the little dots as well. So I had to basically take a few of those dots out to make it all work for the size that I wanted my star to be. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I truly, I just look forward to this month all year long. I really, really do. So anyways, be sure to check out the playlist down below as well to see who else is playing along with 31 days of cut file fun, or cut files. I am so super excited to see who's who's going to play along. Now, I can't guarantee that everybody's going to play along every single day, but there was a couple gals that asked if they could. So I'm super stoked to see who's going to be doing that. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will check you all tomorrow. Bye.